Hey y'all. So, the words that come out of your mouth. Yesterday, with all the videos I made, with everything I posted about, with everything that I was processing, I had so much to say, but I got tired of making videos. Even though my last video was like 2:30 this morning. But this matters, and this is on loop. So we're just gonna go ahead and deliver, okay? So make sure you like, subscribe, follow. You ready? The words that come out of your mouth. The words that come out of your mouth. The words that you say to yourself. The tone that you use when you talk to yourself. It matters. When I talk to myself, I talk to myself like this. Hey Markette, today's gonna be a great day. Hey Markette, you know what? Your day is always gonna get better. Hey Markette, you know what? Try it a different way. You got it. You're doing such a great job. I say that in my head, out loud. I'm sure you've heard me talking to myself in these videos. And you're like, huh. Even sometimes I'm like, I think I was a little too hard on myself, but then I went back and listened to it and I was like, but that was still kind. I realized that the way that you talk to yourself affects the way you see the world. Because you speak to yourself, well, not everyone, but a good amount of people think and speak to themselves more than they do anyone else. If you speak to yourself with love, kindness, positivity, then you radiate love, kindness, and positivity. When you speak to yourself as if you don't like yourself, as if you don't like anything that you do and everything that you do is wrong, what if I tell you that 9 times out of 10, it's not even your voice, it's not your own thoughts, it's not even the way that you see this world. Most likely, it is a reflection of what you heard growing up. It was an overly hard parent, an overly hard coach, an overly hard whatever you was raised in. It was a crappy childhood that taught you that you're only as good as what you get right. You're only as good as what you give. You're only as good as what you do. You're only as good as whatever that is. That's a freaking lie. Your greatness is intrinsic. It is inside of you. You are already enough from the moment you took that first breath. You are already perfect. We are all perfectly imperfect in the best way. When you use your words to speak highly of yourself, when you use your words to speak highly of others, then you tend to have more grace for when people do things wrong. You tend to have more understanding when something takes too long. You tend to have more peace. Yeah. I'm starting to realize that the people that are the most negative have the most to try to tell you what you should do about your own stuff. They have all these grandiosities for how you can improve your life, your content, your everything, but they don't apply it to themselves. Whoa, that's asking too much. So, if you want to know how what they say to themselves affect others, it's because if you're not nice to yourself, you're not going to be nice to anyone else. If you're not kind and loving and understanding with yourself, you're going to have no patience for anyone else. If all you see is what's wrong with you, then all you're going to see is what's wrong with another person. See how that works? It's reflections. They mirror. They're parallel. So literally, however you treat yourself is going to be reflective of how you treat others. You cannot be a kind, loving, generous person to yourself and think that you're going to be a kind, generous, loving person to others. It's going to create cognitive dissonance within you. You're not going to understand it, but you're going to feel like it's not right. It's going to create confusion. It's going to create frustrations. Sometimes it manifests in pains that are unexplained. They call them phantom pains. They call them psychosomatic pains, meaning that the pain is in your head, but you actually still feel it in your body. That crap is real. All those times that you are being resentful, hateful, argumentative for no reason, complaining about stuff that most people don't remember after the action is gone. But then you're lingering on it for days and years and months and decades sometimes. That is a reflection of how you're treating yourself on the inside. You're replaying these things on a loop. That's limerence. You're having this insanity wheel of, why did they do this? This should have been done differently. Why is my life like this? I wish, I want. That's lack, that's disdain, that's aggression, that is all the things that's amplifying your pain. That's how I know this. I just had 2 dental procedures. I took no pain medication. Yeah, I was crying with some ice and some holisticness, and now it's completely healed. That's another thing. Whatever you say in your head, whatever you think in the words that come out of your mouth, your body, your soul, your spirit reflects that as well. I'm always healthy. I always heal quickly. I don't really have a lot of pains anymore. And I don't understand how until I understood it. I know that sounds crazy. It's one of those things, it's like you don't get it till you get it, but once you get it, you can never forget it. Okay, are you still tracking? I hope so, friend. Now look, however you expect life to happen for you, that's what's gonna happen. So when you say, my life is always great, my life is always improving, I'm expecting something great to happen today, right? Well, I say that every night before I go to sleep. My greatness has already happened today in the form of my big baby, my 20-year-old, coming home today and surprising me. And she gave me like a million hugs, and we had like this really great conversation. Her name is Mackenzie. And I really enjoyed spending time with her today. And she even let me play in her hair. Like, I got to touch up her locks. I say play in her hair because I didn't really get to do it all because time restraints, but we definitely made it better. And I just love the fact that I got to nurture her for a little while. It made me so happy. That was so happy. I realized that the way you feel, the way you say, the things you say, the way you are innately also reflects the way the world treats you. I don't know how it works, but it works. I just always feel like everyone is nice, everyone is kind, everyone likes to help me, and my life reflects kindness, help, support, encouragement. But I also always give encouragement, support, help, and the belief that goodness, the more you give good, the more good comes back to you. And then it starts to play like, But then when it's like, whoa, yeah, it's amplified. It's just like, okay. So you know, like how some people are like, oh, everything's always bad, blah, blah, blah. But those are the people whose life is always like, you already know, like soon as they come in your orbit, you're like, oh, here we go today. Okay, so in your head, not out loud, usually not out loud. Okay, bet 5. It's gonna be somebody else's fault that all these things happen, and now it's gonna be a bad because of blah, the blah, blah, blah. And then in your head, as they're telling you this stuff, you're like, really? I'm sorry that happened to you. Really? But in you're going like, I knew it. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always something wrong. Nobody's helpful. No one understands for them. But I look at it like this. Everybody is trying their best. It might not be the case. Look, it might not be the case. I believe that everyone is trying their best, is what I tell myself. And yes, I know that is not always 100% the truth, but we're gonna say it anyway, because that's what I want to tell myself. So that way, when someone's being disrespectful, instead of being disrespectful back, I just hang up. If someone is being condescending, I'll ask them what they said. Sometimes I'll repeat it back. Sometimes I'll say it with the chest up, and sometimes they'll butter it up and fix it. But I always give them the opportunity to fix it. Understand, there are a lot of things in life that can make someone come out of their character. I understand. I've had so many life experiences, I get it. But it doesn't make it right. It does not make it right. So, tiredness can make someone angry, grumpy, mean. I'm usually pretty silly as I get sleepy. The sleepier I get, the more I'm more playful. Yeah. When I get too hungry and I'm annoyed, I tend to get quiet. I don't get quiet because I have nothing to say. I get quiet because I'm guarding my words. Because words have power. And if I really feel like I'm going to say something that can demolish someone, because I used to be that person that will just say some recklessness and know exactly what I'm about to say that's going to be bad, even though I know they deserved it, I'll just say nothing. I learned that there's no sense in it. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to make it better. You don't have control over anyone else. You don't have the right to tell them what they can or cannot say. You do have the right to cut that mess off. You do have the right to be like, I don't let people talk to me like that. You do have the right to just stop talking to them. That is your God-given right. You do not have to play in the mud if you got on your new dress. You don't have to do that crap. I realized that emotions come in waves, feelings come in waves. They typically last for 90 seconds. Anything longer than that, you're choosing to lean into that feeling. But I also realized that the more you heal, the more you elevate the trapped feelings, the trapped emotions, the trapped thoughts, the trapped experiences that your brain blocked from your consciousness is still in your subconsciousness. So even though if I were to say, how was your childhood? And you were like, I don't know. I don't really remember most of my childhood. That was your brain trying to protect you from experiences that it felt like you could not handle. But as you heal, as you go through your stuff, as you improve, then little triggers, them same little things that would normally set you off, are going to bring those same feelings up in you. Mine normally happen in my throat, in my chest most of the time. But as they come up, you can feel the feelings. You're like, okay, I feel this in my chest. Okay, I feel this in my throat. This feels familiar. When was the last time I felt this same feeling? What made me feel like this? Why is that important? It's very important. It's because most of the time we're not even reacting to what that person is doing. We're reacting to how we felt in the moment when someone else did that thing to us. A lot of the times, those bad things that are happening in your life, that happened in your life, say, okay, we're gonna dial it back. We're gonna dumb it down. Okay. Say this is you, right? And you try to do something and you're like, I did a great job. I'm really happy with this. And someone's like, you didn't do a good job. It knocks you down. Okay, well, I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna try a little harder and I'm gonna do a little bit better. Why are you doing that for? That sucks. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop trying and I'm gonna stop being this person as you shrink. So here comes a new person and they're like, hey, that's interesting. What made you do it like that? Well, why did I die? See, they weren't being aggressive. You were triggered because of the feeling from when the other person did you that way. It had nothing to do with them. It was more so of a reflection of those feelings that you were feeling from back yonder. You may not understand it now, but it opened that doorway and it released all those pent up emotions, hence being triggered. Had nothing to do with that person. And a lot of times in life, when we're having conversations with people, when we're having interactions with people, we don't know what's triggering them. We don't know what's going to set them off. 9 times out of 10, they don't even know what's going to set them off. I still have moments when I'm set off and I'm like, whoa, why did that bother me so? But when you learn to feel your feelings, and you learn to sit in those emotions, and you learn to let them go, then you learn that maybe it really wasn't them. I know exactly who that was. I know that voice. I know that sensation. I know where that pain initially came from. And it can come in different ways. I started labeling those feelings with the person who made me feel that way. So you could be like, that is we're going to make up a name for this because honestly, I don't feel like being petty. We're going to say that's we're going to say a Karen. We're going to go with Karen. That's how I felt around Karen. Look at Karen's feelings bubbling back up to the surface because that's how Karen made me feel. Okay, Karen, you don't have power over me in this moment. I'm going to release how I feel in this moment because I know it's not that person, it's Karen. And I don't want to make that person feel the way I wish I could have made Karen feel. So I'm just going to have to take a step back and reflect on this moment and let it go. That's why it is so important to forgive people. I don't believe in that forgive and forget crap. Absolutely not. We're going to remember. Oh, we are remembering. We are releasing the feelings, but we're going to put a pin in the top of it. So that way you can't come back and do that mess again. You can release the pain, but still remember the memory. It is a work. You can do it. It's not always easy. Oh, forgiveness is a daily struggle sometimes. But when you start to feel yourself sinking in a dark place from whatever you are dealing with, think about your gratitudes. Ground yourself in the moment. Start off with a good diaphragmatic clean breath. Feel your sensations. This is why I like fuzzy clothes. Feel the softness against your skin. Touch your fingertips. Feel the pressure as you switch. There are so many things you can do to ground yourself in the moment, to pull yourself from the past. The more you focus on the moment, the less you can give to the past. The less you're in limerence, the less you're in that cycle. You can retrain your brain for anything. It's neuroplasticity. You know how I said those neurons can grow together? Of course they can. Whatever you give your energy on the most, whatever you focus on the most, that is who you are going to be in that moment, in that life, as you elevate. So be guarded with your words. Be guarded with the things that come out of your mouth. Be guarded with the way you speak to yourself. Your self-love, your self-care, your self matters. So know that. And self-care doesn't look like going to spend $300 at the spa, getting your nails done. No. Self-care is, I speak to myself with love, with patience, with understanding. I am my own biggest support. I take time to massage my face every day. Actually do. Usually at least twice a day. I take time to moisturize. I take time to drink water. I take time to be gentle with myself, like a Fabergé egg. The more you are kind to yourself, the more your cup will overflow and the more you have to give to others. Versus doing it from a place where you don't actually like people and now you're reaching for gratitude from them and they already told you thank you, but you still want more and more and more because it came from a place of lack. Versus I'm giving it to you with no expectation. So if you don't say anything else to me, but I don't even care because I did it from the goodness of my heart. It was from overflow. So yeah, I could lean into that, but this video is too long already. 22 minutes. All right, so I hope this helps. I hope that you feel better, and I hope that you understand why the words that come out of your mouth are important. And even if it's hard for you to say I love you to yourself, even if it's hard for you to figure out that one thing in the mirror that you absolutely love about yourself, do it anyway. Even if it's something small. I love my teeth. I love my lips. I love my dimples. I love whatever it is. But every day, start off with the one you said first and add something new until eventually you truly love yourself. And when you love yourself, you can love others from a place of fullness, not from a place of need or lack. All right, later, y'all. Send them love, because love's in need of love, right? Later, y'all.